How's it going, you guys? AZ Plyo 21 back again with more of our W3 save in WMMA 5, our local to global. This time we have W386 Chandler versus Pettis. You can see here we are at 21.6% of low level international. We are trying to get to 33% to hit mid level international, with the ultimate goal, of course, being that 99.99% high level international, overtaking the UFC, becoming the #1 organization in all of MMA. I mean, we can definitely do it. We can definitely do it. It's just a matter of time, but it remains to be seen how we go about doing that. We are just about 12 percentage points away, give or take 4 or 5 more fight cards, I'd imagine, before we do hit mid-level international. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we've got going today and at the upcoming videos. We've got Chandler versus Pettis today. You see Joe Lozon, Stephen Ray. Honestly, not the greatest card. I'm not expecting to get too much of a gain from this card. Michael Chandler and Anthony Pettis is a good main event. But this one, Chimaev versus Diaz, this should be a really, really, really good card that should get us at least 4.5 percentage points increase. I'm super excited for it. We also got the heavyweight crown on the line between Tuivasa and Struve. That should be interesting. Nick Diaz versus Albert Tumanov for W388. Mackenzie Dern also facing Holly Holm at bantamweight of all weight divisions. Brandon Moreno versus Marlon Moraes. This should also be a good one. And then we are currently in the makings of W390. Dan Ige will be on that card, but we do not know against who yet. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the UFC has been up to. Not there. There. Their recent fight card that they just had was Yuri Prohaska beating Jan Blachowicz to retain his light heavyweight crown, and then Sue Maderji beating Askar Askarov to win the flyweight championship. So good for him. However, Sue Maderji we have just signed, so we just signed the #2 flyweight in all of the world, low level national. So that's pretty exciting. Just the fact that he has all that momentum on his side, he should be able to, it says on the prelim card, but he should be able to fare pretty well on a main card, even if it's just having to be like a lesser card or something like that. With that being said, yeah, we're still on the path towards getting towards the UFC, high level international, of course, but we are well on our way towards taking over the MMA landscape. Let's go ahead and get it going. W386 Chandler versus Pettis. Show taking place in California, so this should be a very interesting one. Probably going to get some nice cash on hand from this fight card. Damon Blackshear taking on Justin Gonzalez at 145, and it's Damon Blackshear getting the win over Gonzalez here today, 15-5. Once again, you guys, I don't trip myself too much over the actual results of the fights. That's not what we're here about. We're here to get to the tippity top of MMA. If, you know, by chance we have some interesting matchups that come up, so be it. But again, the focus is not on the actual fights. It's on us getting, you know, progressing as quickly as possible towards the top of the MMA landscape. Alex Munoz taking on Brock Weaver. Brock Weaver with the knockout punch in a little bit less than 4 minutes. Rick Glenn taking on Robert Watley, and it's Watley who gets the knockout punch in round number 2. Salamine Ahmadiyar taking on Zach Atau, and it is Atau losing to Salamine with the victory here today, 10th win of his career. Curtis Millender taking on Jerry Olson at 170. Olson made weight by 3 pounds, and Olson still gets the TKO victory with giving up 3 pounds to Millender. Interesting. Michael Alexichuk taking on Jordan Wright. This guy recently got absolutely murked in the UFC, and Alexichuk gets the unanimous decision here today over the kid from Beverly Hills, California. Hometown boy getting absolutely wrecked. Abdul Razak Al Hassan taking on Wellington Turman at 185, and it's Turman getting the 21st victory of his career here today. Kron Gracie taking on Robin Van Roosmalen at 145, and it is the kickboxer who knocks out the jiu-jitsu guy in a little over a minute. Rated as a good fight. Love to see it. Robin Van Roosmalen always ends up becoming very, very popular very quickly. More than likely has to do with his kickboxing style. I don't know. Benedict Dryden, this kid's probably getting cut, taking on Clayton Carpenter, and Carpenter does get the TKO. We're at the point where we really can't afford to be spending a lot of money or effort on these, you know, brand new rookies who, in the beginning, I would have needed them because we just needed to get fights out. But now it's like, okay, we need to forget about that. We need really good prospects who can get, you know, really, really good, or, you know, already defined fighters. Mary Ciuta goes to 3-1 with her win over Elizabeth Phillips. Greg Hardy taking on Chris the Law Lewis, and it's Greg Hardy with the TKO in round number 1. That's important because he is still mid-level national, and he will have a little bit more momentum on his side as well, which will only make him that much more of a draw, so that is important. And he wants to fight Stefan Struve. Okay, cool. Carlos Condit taking on Basil Hafez, and it is Carlos Condit who gets the unanimous decision victory. That's good. Get him a little bit more momentum as well. That's the name of the game. We want these guys who are popular to kind of stay popular, just because we want them to be able to sell fights, you know? So them having good momentum and keeping their popularity increasing, that's very important for us. Brad Riddell beats Rustam Kabalov. So low-level national in America, but he's 3-0 here in W3. That's good for him. Love to see that. Drew Dober versus Cole Farrell. This kid has been undefeated in W3, and it's been a kid that we've been building on our, you know, promotion ever since we basically started. And this is his first kind of really big test here against Drew Dober, UFC veteran, and Cole Farrell with the TKO in round number 3. Cole Farrell was number 12 in our division, and Cole Farrell just beats him mightily in round number 3. Let's go ahead and see. What is he, mid-level now? Low-level national. At 10%. So he'll probably stay at low-level national, but a big win nonetheless for Cole Farrell. Joe Lozon taking on Stephen Braveheart Ray at 155, and it's Braveheart who gets the knockout in round number 3 here in our co-main event. He's low-level national, get a little bit more momentum on his side, and he should hit mid-level national, so that's pretty good for Stephen Ray. Love to see that. In our main event, Michael Chandler taking on Anthony Showtime Pettis at 155. Mid-level national Anthony Pettis, who is making his W3 debut, taking on Michael Chandler, also making his W3 debut after winning the UFC title. So yeah, mid-level international as well. Hopefully he gets a big win here today, and it is Iger Michael Chandler with the TKO victory, becoming even more of a draw. 1 minute and 10 seconds into round number 1. It's going to probably stay at mid-level international, but a big win for him here today and a big show for us. And he wants to fight Steven Seiler out of all people. Okay, commercial rating of 90, that's pretty good. 10,500. My guess is around 3 percentage points that we gained, and it is 3.2 percentage points that we get as a popularity increase. Did not really increase that much in Russia for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure we did have a couple of Russian fighters on there too. Another big thing to note, you guys. The popularity increases. It is not down to your draw in the country that you're, you know, going to be doing the show in. It's based on how they would actually draw in that area. So notice Brazil and South America. That means that there was a lot of fighters that drew pretty well in South America on this card. Same thing for United States, but less so, you know. That just happens sometimes. There was probably just a couple more Brazilians that, you know, were popular in Brazil, but not necessarily in America, who weren't on the main card, but they still kind of watched. $5.9 million in profit. Michael Chandler, the highest paid fighter, with $1.5 million going to his name. Well worth it. Appreciate you guys as always. We are on our way towards mid-level international, and I will see you guys next time. I'll see you at the fights.